Back again. And it is Saturday. It is actually filming on Saturday. Hopefully this actually uploads on a Saturday. Depends on what my Wi-Fi is going to do during this storm and what YouTube is going to decide to do. Now that I know that my flashlight up there does die on occasion, I will be paying attention a little closer to that. And if it dies again during this video, hopefully I realize it, number one, and can I will be able to. I'll turn the flashlight on my phone that's sitting just behind my camera and hopefully be able to get through the rest of the video with some extra lighting. So if you are tuning into this series for the first time, this is a combination challenge for myself between Melina Pylant and Gala Gastinelli. They both do scrapbusting videos. Melina's is M's hashtag M's Scrapbuster, and Gail doesn't have a hashtag as far as I know, but she is Scrappy Saturday. I will have both of their channels linked, YouTube channels linked in the description box. But this has been part of my challenge for 2024, is to challenge myself to do these challenges. I watch them all the time. I just don't usually participate in them. So why watch them if I'm not going to do them? So I have, like with all my challenges, each one has its own book. So I do have my scraps book. And there are two signatures in here, one for Gail and one for Melina. So this was week 1, doing full page pockets that Gail did. And then, ironically enough, last week they both did pockets. And then Melina did pockets 4 ways last week. This week, they both did something a little different. Melina's, I am going to do for the idea book because it is part of my challenge for this year to do all of the challenges. But it is not something that I would normally have in my home. So it's going to be just for my idea book. And for those of you that are watching that can, it'll be there for you. So what she did was Melina created a standalone decoration. So it was like a pyramid shaped piece that stands up on its own. And she put, you can put words of encouragement, stuff on it, stuff like that. Again, because it's not going to be part of my home decoration, I'm not going to go so far into the decorating aspect of it. Why am I doing that? So yeah, I've got that in there. Excuse my reach. But there's one that goes with my board. And it sits right here in its own special little slot. So why I'm reaching across and grabbing one that completely different one, I don't know. Because it's the Peace and Q's brain. So what she does is she starts out with an 8.5 inch long piece of paper. How wide you want it is up to you. And you could also do it bigger if you want, but you're going to have to figure the measurements out yourself. I did mine wide enough just for this sheet of paper. So the only reason that it is the width that it is, this is 3 inches. I already had these pieces, this strip in my box, in my scrap box that was 2.5. So I just cut my base to be 3 inches is all I did. So with an 8.5, you're going to figure your midpoint is 4 1/4. And then you're going to go 1/4 inch to each side and score it. So at 4, and 4.5. Now, because I'm putting this into a book, I'm going one step further, and I'm going to put a line in the middle at 4 1/4, and that's just so that I can fold it. Wow, those lines are not lining up. That's weird. 4 1/4. It's crazy. And again, valleys become mountains, mountains become valleys. Okay. So the first two are valleys, which then become the mountains. Okay. And the way she designed it is for that base to be it. Get those nice and strong there so that it stands up like this when all put together. I want this to be able to fold up and put in my book. So that's why I put that center line there so that I could fold this flat and put it in the book. Now, this is why I'm saying it folded weird. Nothing is straight. It was very bizarre. Okay, so I'm going to give this an extra trim here. Get those straightened out. Okay. I'm done with my scoreboard. Put that away. Okay. I'm going to have this piece here. I'm going to round all 4 edges just so that, looks a little more finished. Bigger one than that. It's crazy because even though I cut this on my board, it is not straight. So next week is going to be fun. So not only do I have a 4-H meeting on Monday, but I also have all kinds of deliveries due in. I have 3 undelivered mail packages due in, as does my daughter. We're trying to decide whether we're going to do that as 2 separate videos because it's going to be a lot coming in to do on a single live. One of them is a Temu only package, and her and I both have a Temu only one. And so if you've never ordered from Temu, you may not know, but very rarely is there just one item in a package. So an entire box of nothing but Temu packages, we're anticipating that there's going to be a lot. So we're debating and talking about whether or not we are going to do the Temu only one boxes, hers and ours, as one live and do the other 4 boxes as a separate live. But still do them on Tuesday because that's our scheduled. Well, it's her only other day off. And I also have both of my Temu orders of craft supplies are also due in on Tuesday. So plus we have our Marguerite Miller challenge that her and I do live on Tuesdays. So Tuesday could be a little crazy. I may do pre-record my personal Temu unboxing, record it, and then just release it not on Tuesday. Otherwise, it's going to be like a ton of videos all releasing on that Tuesday. So, so Melina's pretty simple. So she has a cover which obviously you would do this to match your home decor. Because again, this is designed, what she designed this to be is something that would say sit out on an end table, a side table, right? Like next to a plant or whatever. I only did this extra fold again, just so that I can fold flat and go into my book. But then you have the cover, and this is what it's a bulb pin. I don't know what else it's called, but it's, it's shaped like a light bulb. That's why we call it a bulb pin. But it's just like a little safety pin. And what she did was, put the pin through there. And then what you can do is add images to it. So positive affirmations, pictures, whatever, whatnot, to go, and then you just flip. Ugh. Mine is not wanting to flip at the moment. So, doink, like this. And then you have your positive affirmation for the day here. And then, and so you go through and you add on, whatever, maybe it's various pictures of the grandkids, Christmas pictures, whatever. So you just add whatever you want into it. And then this sits on a fireplace, a mantle, a coffee table, wherever. Actually I need to do a little bit of gluing because I forgot that part. Before you bulb pin that, you do glue. My glue glued itself into its holder across the top. Oops. And I just realized I never moved my microphone. I'm glad that I even had it turned on, because that would have been 12 minutes of wasted crafting because I bumped. Now my flashlight isn't again, this is temporary until my craft room gremlin tells me where my ring light is hiding. So sits upright, flip, like so. Now it's hard to see because my camera is above it, but you can see it does stand up on its own. So there is that. I'll go ahead and put this in Melina's book. And I'm going to glue it. I'm just going to glue it in flat. Nothing fancy on the pages this go around either. Just going to do it just like that. I'll take a number 2 out. And then this is number 2 for Melina. Hers was pretty simple this week, which is great because Gail's was a little more complicated. And I say that in complicated. It's really not complicated. Just a little more steps to it. And it's a technique that I've never done before. So I'm really excited, and it's like, duh, I don't know why I never thought of that, because it's brilliant. I'll have to look on her channel again, because I can't remember who she said the idea is from. And something. So I will have to go and look. I am going to close up my Fabri-Tac because I don't need it any further. I'm like trying to figure out where my lid wandered off to. I have my walnut stain still out, my dauber still out, because this does involve some inking. Okay. So you need 5 bases. And because these were on my desk, I just grabbed 5 of these gessoed papers, cut them down to the size. And you want 3, these are 3 by 7. They could be whatever size you wanted them to be. It's up to you. And I will also back these with a solid paper once I'm done here. Now, you are also going to have decorated paper, 5 different kind, which again, I just got into my little craft envelope down there. And you want 5 paper clips. I have those at the ready. Now she called this a stack and whack. Stacking I get, whacking I'm not sure. But that's what the original creator called it. So stack and whack tags. So you're going to put paper clips, 2 on one side, 1 at the opposing. So you're going to go, like so, here, here, and here. And you're just going to randomly tear like so. Okay. On the top and on the bottom, you're going to put a second paper clip. Second paper clip, and you're going to tear between them. Doesn't matter if they're straight. Doesn't matter. Okay. So now you have 5 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 tags. This is where the fun begins. Okay. Trying to think where's going to be the most logical way for me to do this. I'm going to put these over here. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because of space, they are kind of on top of each other. Not kind of, they are on top of each other. And that's unfortunately just the way it's going to have to be in order for me to film it for you. So you're going to take your number 1 pile, your number 1 stack. Take the paper clip off and keep these in order. Okay. You're going to glue this. Hold on. Back up. Eek. Glue to that top piece. You can work top to bottom, bottom to top. Decision is yours. Whoa, I just took a big old gouge out of my glue stick. We'll give that a squish in there. And again, matching up your edges. Okay. Next piece. Okay, pick that glue up from in there. Best I can anyway. Drop my glue stick into my little glass container there, and it dumped that big old chunk stuck to the bottom of the glass instead of sticking to the glue. 1, 2. One. I think I'm just going to have to do them this way. I'm just going to have to keep stacking them. That's 3. Now you could do these top to bottom, bottom to top. Gail did hers bottom to top. I started mine at the top. I don't know that it matters either way, because you can trim, any pieces that don't line up. Once it's done and over with, you can trim it all down. So four, and then number 5. And again, if you want that raw edge of the paper core, you want to pull towards you. I'm struggling to find a spot that's not already gluey on this page. Oh. Okay, important part is to keep these in order. If you can't lay them out flat, make sure you're keeping them in order. Now, because I'm having to keep them stacked, what I'm going to do is move number 1 to the back of the pile. Because if I don't, when I go to this one, then I'm just matching, right? So I'm rotating through the piles. So remove the paper clip. I'm going to move those off camera too, so I can just kind of hopefully have things a little bit more in my purview. All right. You may notice I'm not inking the outer edges, and that's because I can ink the entire thing once it's all glued together. So and I'm just going to go to the back. You don't have to ink all of your pieces. It is a personal preference. I like my stuff inked. I don't always do it in collage. No, I don't always ink the individual pieces, but I do like the way it looks. And I definitely like the way it looks on this particular project. Again, moving that to the back. Ink, 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 ink. I need to do some of this on camera. This one, for whatever reason, is bigger than the rest. So you kind of have to make a decision. Do you want to slide it that way and line it up better? Or slide it this way and line it up better? I'm gonna overlap the pieces and just trim that. That's my decision. Then this piece. And I did trim that stack of book pages as 5 sheets all together. I just put them together on my cutting mat. And yeah, so it doesn't surprise me that, at the end of the day, they're not all precise. They're not all the same size. But an easy fix. Gluing that down. Moving it to the back. And then last piece. I need this over here. I'm a left-handed gluer. I don't know why I put the glue on to the right side of my table. Okay. This one that I just glued automatically goes to the back. And then this one also moves to the back. For me, again, if you have the space, like when you're doing this not on camera, and you have the space to spread all this out, you don't have to keep stacking them like this. You just spread them out on your desk in front of you. I don't have the room to do that while I'm recording. Pile number 3. Yeah. I have to do some trimming on that one, but that's okay. Oops. I really have to figure out what craft channel I was watching that did the use it or toothpick holder to hold her glue stick, because that has been a game changer for me. Glue that down, put it in the pile. Ink the edges, just torn edges. Again, I'm not inking the flat edges because I'll do that after I've backed the tags and so on and so forth. And I'm only going to assemble, no, I was going to say I'm only going to assemble 4 so that I can leave a set of the torn pieces in the idea book. But I think what I'm going to do is I will write in the book how this works. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'll remember, but especially since, you know, it'll be documented on my channel. And it'll be documented where I saw it. So, but, you know, 2 years from now, who knows? I may not have a channel anymore. I may decide to take it down, and then what? You know, so. Glad I'm able to figure out a use for these pages. These are pages out of the book that my niece is using for her very first altered journal. I was like, she tore them out. She's like throwing them away. I'm like, no. She's like, what? I'm like, you'll see. I will show you. You're just now learning how to do this. I will show you what to do with all of your scraps. But for now, don't throw them away. So next time she comes for a visit and be like, does this look familiar to you? It is also the only piece that's shiny. Okay, so piece number 5 goes to the back, and then the top, again, also moves to the back. Start your stack over. Now you're down to your last 2 pieces. You get to decide, do you want to go right, left? Top I went left, right. For the bottom, I'm going to go right, left. Remove. Set the pile aside. Ink the torn edges. First piece in. A little taller. I'm going to have to get another glue page here pretty soon. It's getting very, very sticky. I'm going to have to add some extra glue in there. This is also the downside to using these base pages that I am, because they're not, excuse me. The gesso is designed to not make the paper as, you know, quite as porous as it naturally would be. So I'm seeing already that there's certain papers in certain places where it's not wanting to glue. I had to double check because I bumped my pile. I'm like, wait, what was next? Oh, my flashlight is going dead already. So the flashlight is definitely not even a short-term solution for my lighting problems. So let me get this one glued on, and then again, you just want them to slightly overlap. Go to the back. Whoop. And I will do just do this. Turn the flashlight off. Oh, it's this. I'm like, what is the cable that's in the way? I'm like, I didn't even realize it was getting darker on me. So about 35 minutes is what I have on that light with it running full time. So good to know. And that was at the full charge because that was what I was doing in between my 2 challenge videos, was charging that flashlight. Because so far the ADD craft room gremlins have not availed my ring light. You know, and I don't know that I ever shared this on any of my videos. I may have, I don't remember. So a while back, I ordered some magnetic phone charging cables, and it, you know, it has all the different little ports that go into your devices, and it had three cables. Immediately plugged one in right here for my devices that I use at my crafting table. And oh, that's weird that way that one tore. It's kind of a little whoop. Interesting. Anyway, and then I was standing and I was talking to my husband. I had the other 2 in my hand. So number 5 goes to the back. Number 1 moves to the back. Okay. Pull in your last pile. But anyway, I was standing there and I was talking to my husband, and I was playing with the 2 extra cords, and I was kind of rolling them up and playing with them. And I was talking to him about the fact that I had ordered, or I had on order, a storage thing for all of our charging cables and charging devices and all of that. And then I go, so just figure out where I'm going to, until it gets here, where I'm going to put them. Well, I come back into my craft room and I'm thinking about it while I'm crafting. Where am I going to put them where I won't lose them? And I'm like, oh, I know what I'll do. Well, then I go to find the charging cables and I can't find them anywhere. I'm like, so I went out, across the house, and I'm like, did you see where I set those down? He had no clue. Like 2 weeks go by, and I'm like, I have no idea where they're at. I can't find them anywhere. Can't find them. Well, out of the blue, I was working on a craft project, and I go over to my wall of paper punches over there, and lo and behold, my cables are all spiraled together, rolled up all nice and neat on one of the shelves of paper punches. I'm like, why on earth did I put them there? Number 1. And how do I not remember doing it? And how have I walked in and out of my craft room? Like, literally, that wall of punches is right next to my door. So how I walked past them, how many times a day, every single day for almost 2 weeks, and never saw them sitting there. And I looked everywhere for them. I'm like, where could they possibly be? It's the craft room gremlins. It's the Peace and Q's brain gremlin. That's, it's the only way to explain it. And I imagine that that's what's going to happen with my my ring light. When I'm not looking for it, it's going to jump right out and almost bite me in the fingers. It's going to bite my hand. And I'm going to be left shaking my head going, how did I not see that all these times? How many times have I walked past it? How many times have I actually touched it and not realized that I did? You know? And there's no one to blame but me. I'm the only one here. I'm the only one that uses my craft room. Like I was saying in Roxy's challenge video, except for on the rare occasions, every couple of weeks when my daughter's here or my granddaughter's here. So that paper tore really weird. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna ink it in the middle. And in all reality, something's gonna be on top of this anyway. You're gonna put a focal point on it. So the fact that it doesn't line up, not that big of a deal. It's more of an issue if your outer edges don't line up than something in the center. Oh, cute little miceys. Wonder if they were running from the cat in her book. And it's funny, is after we tore all the pages out of her book and she started working on it, she looked at me and she goes, I wish I'd have read this before we tore it up. I'm like, well. So I think she would enjoy doing a full-on altered book. Where you take the pages of the book out and then you reassemble, you create a new spine and you take the pages of the book. And you intersperse them with other pages. So you create new signatures out of them. Just trimming up. So I've got some that I need to trim this way and some that I need to trim this way. Just eyeballing the trimming there. And then I have random fly pages from that Washington book. That I'm going to use as bases. So going to get a new glue page, which means I need to glue this one. I most definitely need to do an episode of what to do with your glue pages. Now I am going to try to glue off camera as much as I can with these because the content of the pages themselves is a little racy for YouTube. So until I get it turned over, where's my good one? There's the one that I like. Dollar store, by the way. Just giving that a good squish down. I'm also going to try to glue some of these edges down a little better. Which is hard to do with this particular glue bottle because the really pointy tip of it fell inside the bottle. So it doesn't have that pointy tip anymore like it's supposed to. So some of those I'm going to have to, some of that I will have to deal with after. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go like this. So I kind of have the idea of, you know, where I'm gluing across the bottom here. Do that. Flip it over. Again, what you're doing is you're spreading that glue out, but you're also like compressing the fibers of the paper, and you're squishing them open, and it's forcing the glue in between the fibers and helps it adhere. Sorry, bumped my microphone again. Now, the downside to doing the book page rather than the tag itself is that you may not get glue all the way to where you need it. Or you may get it far beyond where you needed it, and then you're gluing to places you didn't mean to. So it's better to glue it on the paper itself, but you know, do what works best for you, which is not necessarily how I do things. I'd like to say do as I say, not as I do, but at the same time, then why am I doing a tutorial? Come on. All right. Well, that was super crazy. Probably going to have to go in and do some editing because the last time I looked up, my clock was at 48 minutes, but now it says 58 minutes as a, yeah. I think the storm front is wreaking havoc with my Wi-Fi. So I don't know whether it was recording or not. I'm going to have to watch it after I download it, figure out whether or not I needed to do any editing. But I have all 5 pieces backed now. So this is what they look like finished. The collage part of it, anyway. Now I have this nifty little thing. It is just 2 pieces of manila folder glued together so that it's nice and stiff. And it's just to cut corners out. So you need to decide what shape you want your tags, like how deep you want them. So do one side. It's lagging again. Okay. I will definitely be going and doing some editing because there's another 4 minutes where things were not working. And it's StreamYard that's causing the problems because everything else that's on Wi-Fi in my house is working fine. Just StreamYard's not. StreamYard keeps freezing up. So anyway, so I have this. So cut one end and you just flip it, mirror image it. Okay. I put this away because I'm just going to use this as my template for the rest of them. See how long I can go before StreamYard freezes up again. It's really stinking annoying. Yeah, I have full bars. It's starting to lag and freeze again. I have full bars of connection on my Wi-Fi. The PlayStation is running fine. The phone is running fine. It's just StreamYard. And after reboot StreamYard, and then it's like, oh look, it works. And then it starts lagging again. Okay. Just ink around. I'm not going to ink around all 5 of them because, again, it's really irritating me that I'm going to have to do so much editing on this video because of StreamYard, because then it's going to take it like 5 days for YouTube to upload it. So even though I'm recording on a Saturday, you're probably not going to see this like Wednesday. I also have to go through and do some gluing on those. Let's see. So let's see if I can just find a quick image. Reach in my bag with stuff down at my feet for some maybe. This is the fruit of the elderberry tree. And nope, this is the beech tree. EEECH. going to do a quick little alteration here. I didn't think about the width of the image versus the width of the tag. It totally blinked out again. At least it reconnected on its own this time. Okay, so I'm just going to glue that on there. And we are going to call this a video before I totally lose my cool. And email a company and yeah. Move this a little further up so that way I have the choice of putting a word or label or something down here on the bottom. And then I also have the choice. I can put a whole ribbon, string, or I can put a slot punch for a flat ribbon, however I want to do that. So this is the Stack and Whack Tag Challenge presented by Gail Augustinelli for this week. And I will tag her. I'll put her channel in the box below. And I'm going to glue this in off camera because, again, we're bouncing and we're lagging. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye-bye. Can't even fucking end.